Hello and welcome to the Hole in My Heart podcast. This is episode 249, Father Yourself First.
Yes, welcome to the Hole in My Heart podcast, where we talk about how the gospel is good news for everyone, every day. I'm your host, Lori Krieg, and I am joined by my husband and the most awesomest therapist among us. I'm so used to talking about Steve.
The most therapeutic voice.
You are the most therapeutic voice, actually. When Matt and I speak together so often, I'm like going up there and I'm like, and song and dance and get everyone's energy up. And then Matt comes and he's just like the peace, hear the palate cleanse to the song and dance. But we do miss Steve in front of the cameras. He is called in this season to be behind the camera for this time. So you get me and Matt is killing it with the intro voice.
Sure.
It's not radio-y, but it is. It's still good. It is beautiful and therapeutic. Anyway, this fall we are focusing on becoming healthy disciples who make healthy disciples. And today we are talking with a new friend of the podcast named Glen Henry. He has a new book out called Father Yourself First, and he's going to talk a lot about how we as parents can become healthy parents who are raising healthy kids and how that relates to the discipleship journey. But Matt, can you tell us a little bit more about Glen Henry, please?
Yes, Glen Henry is a husband, dad of four, and author of Father Yourself First. Through his popular storytelling platform, Belief in Fatherhood, he shares honest, hope-filled glimpses of family life that inspire parents to break cycles and lean into God's grace.
So with that, let's officially welcome Glen to the show. Welcome, Glen.
Welcome. Thank you so much for having me. I'm so glad to be here. I wish I could be there in person because I know you guys have a really dope studio over there, but I'm glad to be here today. Thank you.
We sure do have a dope studio.
It's true.
Hey, so the reason that we do this podcast is to talk about how the gospel is good news for everyone every day. So we ask every guest this question, and it's so fun to hear how Jesus has met them in unique ways. So if part of the gospel is I'm more sinful and flawed in myself than I dare believe, but at the very same time, I am loved and accepted in Jesus Christ than I ever dared hope. When was that gospel first good news for you, Glen, and how is it still today?
I think, during that time of adolescence, when you have all the power in the world to throw away your life because you now have authority over your life, but no direction, I found myself walking into places that would accept me. And coming from a broken home, the overwhelming understanding was that I really didn't belong anywhere because I didn't fit into the home I grew up in, and I didn't fit into my dad and stepmom's home very well either. And so once I found just a group of young men who loved the Lord and were able to show me attributes of what it means to be a follower of Christ, I then was open to even hearing the good news and allowing it to resonate with me in a way that I honestly, it was all proof. I had to see it first. It didn't matter what I read so much. It was about me seeing what it looked like walked out. And it was a group of young men who loved the Lord, were really dope, cool dudes, love hip hop, but they weren't trying to sleep with as many women as possible. They weren't out of control. And it was that first attracted me. But once, the Lord got a hold of me, there was just I didn't trust people. And I guess God gave me the opportunity to trust him first, which, my trust issues span all throughout my life, right? And they pop up in my marriage and my relationship with my kids and stuff like that. But it did become very evident around the age of 20, 21, I think, for sure.
Wow. So how do you still need the good news of the gospel today?
Yeah. It's in every moment. And a lot of that is really trying to walk out as I became a father, I recognized how much control and power I have and how much leadership I have over the people around me. And once you have that relationship, you realize how much God, like our relationship with the Lord mirrors our relationship, from father to child. And I wrestle a lot with making sure I get it right because I had parents who struggled to get it right. And like we're all struggling to get it right. But I feel like, that constant reminder that I will fail them. Like I will fail my children. It's just going to happen. It's not if I do, it's when I do. And that longing to stay in relationship with them, realizing that parenting doesn't end. I recognize how much God is still pursuing me.
Yeah.
As a father in my old age now, but as I grow older, there's a constant pursuit and a reminder of his calling on my life, the authority he is giving me. And the purpose of that authority is not for my own power or way to manipulate people or anything like that. It's really about showing people the love of God. And a lot of that is showing restraint, in times where you want to speak, where you want to give your opinion, right? And a lot of that is just, you know what? I don't have to always give my opinion. I can just listen. I can be a soft place for people to land. And so, yeah, it's every moment. It's the grace that I get when I screw up and I apologize to my kid, and me really having to convince them that I am sorry and I will work on our relationship for the rest of my life. It's showing up in my relationship with my wife when, in the beginning of our relationship, I was the one that needed the therapy the most. We were working on me forever. You know what I'm saying? And now, as I'm able to almost wash her with the word, I'm able to see like, dang, like I have so much grace for the growth that she has to continue to do. But I'm not rushing her to do that. It's a lot of patience and reminder that like I am here to serve and I'm here to remind people of the goodness of the Lord. And even when my pride wants to get in the way, even when my pride, my ambition wants to pursue something, I'm reminded in my family of, my need for a savior. And it's just so comforting because I realized like at some point my wife was like, I trust you. Go ahead, do what you need to do, And that's, everyone's like, oh man, I want a woman to submit. But when she really submits and gives it over to you and the Lord, like you're a little confused and like, okay, well, that's a lot of pressure, but she trusts me in a different way now. And I'm able to then extend that and be like, this is exactly how I should be trusting God in this situation, and whatever that situation is. So our family is a constant reminder of the need for the gospel. I'm sorry, I'm rambling here, but you just asked an open-ended question.
Hey,
so
I like it. I like it. No, it's so good.
Yeah. Well, and it sounds like there's been quite a journey. You said, from the age of 20, 21, just recognizing this distrust of people that you carried with you, maybe a distrust of the Lord, but you've been on a journey somewhere, in your years, like you've been on a journey, but like, how did that journey lead you to write this book, Father Yourself First?
Yeah, well, I grew up Baltimore, Maryland. My dad lived in California. My mom lived in Baltimore. She was a young mother, traveled back and forth, coast to coast, joint custody. I was in California during the summertime, and I was in a single parent home for the school year. And I longed for my dad to be there on a daily. Now, he could have been there, but he lived in California. He wasn't an absent father. He just wasn't home like where I lived. Mm-hmm. But being raised by, a 16-year-old, a young mother who, had issues just like young people would, especially being in Baltimore, it's an impoverished area. Mm-hmm. I felt unprotected. Like I had to grow up faster than I should have. Like I smiled less than I wanted to. And there was a little bit of like, man, if my dad was here, I'd probably be okay. Or my dad was here, he'd be able to help my mom navigate some of these issues. If my dad was here, I would always think that. And I don't even know if that's true or not now. Right. But there was always a longing for family in a place, like I wanted to belong somewhere. And once I met my wife, and I ended up hanging around a pastor named Pat Lynch, really dope guy. He's the one that let me into his house and allowed me to be around his family. He has 7 daughters. And I got to see the harmony in their home. For the first time, I believed I could be a dad. Like I never really wanted to be a dad. I wanted a place to belong, but I didn't want to be a father. And a lot of us kids, right, who grow up and we end up getting into, like gangs or like being really associated with our communities and loving the block. We have a longing to be known. We have a longing to belong. It's just, we just want to feel accepted.
Yeah.
And I recognize that I feel accepted in Pat's home. And I felt like, oh, I can make people feel accepted. I can be a safe haven. But what happens is when you become a father, you don't realize that like you are also a part of your family. It's not just for them, right? It's with them,
right?
And so there is a little bit of difference where I've had to like step into fatherhood with investigating all I could be while I allow fatherhood to teach me. My children have taught me, my wife has taught me, but even still, what God has taught me through becoming a father is that, son, I'm giving you the heart of a father. That doesn't just apply to your children. You got to let that thing spread out. So the people you come in contact with also don't recognize that they're missing a father. They're missing a connection of a older man who loves them where they're at, accepts them for who they are, but is able to say, hey, that relationship you're in, it's not going to be good for you in the long run. And I'm going to tell you that. And whenever you listen, if you want to, but I'm here to let you know the truth in love. I'm still going to allow you to come over and we're going to eat saltfish and rice and Trini food and all that. But I want more for you. I know there's more for you. Right. And so I think that is the hardest part I've been fighting against for so many years is when I would make a YouTube video and people are like, oh, my gosh, like, can I be adopted by your family? I'm like, nah, go do your own thing. Why are you going to come over here? Realizing that, no, like we're sometimes the first bit of proof that everybody is accepted in the home, no matter how weird they are.
Yeah.
We have everybody in the house, in our house, is a bunch of different characters. It's extremely, like we all come, like, with 4 children, they all come from us and we expecting them to be like slightly different versions of, but no. It's creepily weird. You know what I'm saying? We got a kid that likes to eat popsicles on the toilet. You know what I'm saying? Pooping while eating a popsicle. I call them poopsicles. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is strange behavior,
Yeah.
I have another kid that he has the sensory processing issue. So he has to be hugged like 6-7 times a day. Got to sleep with a weighted blanket. It's hot outside. He don't care. We hug. It's deep. He looks me in my eyes, holds me around my waist and just stares at me. There's a lot of vulnerability there. It's too much sometimes.
Yeah.
But I need to hold space for that as well. And all these different characters, I also need to hold space for me.
Yeah.
Like I need to tell them, hey, I need a group hug. Everybody get around dad and squeeze dad. I'm feeling overwhelmed. And to be able to communicate that is a skill that I've only learned by raising children that know how to communicate their emotional needs.
Yeah.
So it's if you put stock into your family, if you go there, you will get a great return, and it will be internal. And so, a lot of this journey that I've been going through has opened me up so much because God has been allowing me to redefine and rediscover family for myself and my own family. And I'm like, oh, this is how it could be.
Love it.
Mm-hmm. So can I ask you to like sit in one area? So you mentioned your child that needs the hugs.
Yeah.
That has the just that tactile need for comfort and everything. And you say sometimes it's hot, sometimes it's uncomfortable. I could picture myself being in that space and being very quick, like to be like, okay, it's too hot for this. Oh, like peeling them off of me. How do you balance that if you're in a place where your son or your child needs this touch and maybe you're just empty and you don't have a whole lot to give? I mean, because obviously you don't want to be reactive, but how do you navigate that dissonance if what you're kind of needing in the moment feels antithetical to what your kid needs?
Matt, let me tell you something. One thing I have a hard time with is the word balance. The reason why I don't like the word is because, balancing, if you look at a scale, when you balance, the number reads 0, right? It is. And I don't want to be neutral in any area. I need to lean heavy on one thing sometimes. And so I like to equate it to juggling because I feel like it talks about the process of being caught, being held, and being uplifted. Okay. So when my son says, Dad, I need a hug, or can I have a hug? Part of me knows that it's something he's trying to avoid or sense, because when he needs a hug, it's not just me. He's asking to be squeezed by multiple different people, and that will equate to a full hug, right? Which is overwhelming. So I can say, because it's usually when I ask him to do something, Matt. So I'll be like, right, I really need you to go downstairs and take a shower. You know what I'm saying? You played outside today. You went to speed and agility. Then you played hockey. I need you to shower. Right? He goes, okay, can I have a hug? Okay. Look, I will give you a hug, but I don't want you to feel like, in order for you to listen to me, I have to hug you as a form of payment. I just need you to listen to me because I asked you to do something. Okay. So you can have a hug right now, but you'll get a better hug after you go take a shower. You know what I mean? And the reason why I say it that way is because I need my children to understand how to listen to my voice when I ask them to do something, because it is important. And it's not always a shower. Sometimes it's take the plastic bag off your head. You know what I'm saying? And depending on what's happening throughout the day, they'll react as if I told them, you know what I'm saying, that you can't watch TV no more, and so I have to give them the space to process that, but also recognize like, hey man, like I need you to go to your mom right now and ask for a hug. It's okay for me to say in a little bit or not right now. But the truth is I need to understand the full scope. So if my son walks into the room and he's tearing up and just goes, can I have a hug? Like I recognize that he needs something that only I can give him. Every time I deny that man a hug, right? That's an invitation that I didn't accept. Those invitations don't last forever. So a part of it is accepting the invitation, because I don't know how long they're going to last, and realizing I am the only man in his life that he can get a hug from, right? In our community, like no one else is hugging him, right? And I'm the strongest man that he's going to be able to get a hug from. And I know what it feels like to not get a hug you need.
Yeah, you do.
By being in a place where I grew up in a place I feel like I didn't belong.
Right.
But then also my sister gave the best hugs ever.
Aww.
Her hugs were like, she squeezed me and she was such a great person, and she passed away in 2021. So when I recognized when she passed away, I was like, wait a minute, I'm not going to get a hug from her for the rest of my life. That broke me. Right. And so when I say no to my child, without giving him understanding why or whatever, like that is it. That is something that he needs. My other kids don't need it as much. He needs it.
Yeah.
So you have to recognize that invitation, and realize them hugs ain't gonna last forever. We were in the middle of the desert. I told him, I was like, hey man, I'm going on a walk in the morning. He's like, can I come? I said, dude, it's 5 miles. So you're not going to want to do this, right? He's like, I can do it, Dad. I'm like, bro. And I wasn't trying to discourage him. He genuinely thinks he can do anything. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then, and he's a big kid. So I'm like, I'm not going to carry you. And we're in the desert. There's no cell phone service, right? I promise you, not even a mile in, he's freaking out, losing his mind. And we're in the middle of the uphill part. We both don't got shirts on. Man boobs everywhere, sweat. It was crazy. He's like, can I have a hug?
Oh, Pumpkin.
Like, now? Yeah. All right, man, come on. You know what I'm saying? And I'm holding him. It's, not 87 degrees in Hemet, California. It sucked. And we're just holding each other. And I'm telling you, I wanted to crawl out of my body and like shoot in a rocket in space. I did not want to be touched. But I recognized for him that was a little bit of like, hey, you can do this. You can keep going. We got this.
Yeah.
And so sometimes I don't always win that battle, man.
Yeah.
Like sometimes I'm like, hey man, I need to be left alone for a little bit. Please give me a break. But more than not, I'm accepting those invitations because I realize they don't last forever.
So I love what you're saying as far as your family, your home is a space where people feel like they can belong. And even looking in through a YouTube video, like they can feel a belonging in their own soul. And sounds like they can even feel the Father, capital F, fathering them through you.
Yes.
So on this podcast, we talk a lot about the value of both singleness and marriage as equally valuable.
Yeah.
And you don't hear the word discipleship after like the middle of Acts.
Yeah.
The language that single disciples like Paul and John use to describe the relationship between discipler and disciple is parent. That language is parenting. You hear John being like, oh, my greatest joy is to see that my children will grow in the faith. So really parenting and with children is a metaphor of God's discipleship love, or discipleship's a metaphor of parenting. Like they both point to each other. So I guess what would be your encouragement for our friends who are called to singleness, who are listening, and even though they are not likely called to bear children, they are called to make disciples. How do you see discipleship for single friends relating to what you're learning about fatherhood in the home?
I think when we think about discipleship, it has become it's become like a very like heavy word that almost seems like you have to be qualified to do it. You have to have some type of like degree in divinity or like something that makes it like, okay, well, you're worthy of discipling me.
Yeah, right.
And I think the interesting thing is like we are being discipled just by what we're entertaining. You know what I mean? So we're already choosing a ideology based on what we are consuming. And so I want us to first like think about, yes, we need to make disciples. But then I also want us to think what and who is discipling you right now. Right.
Totally, yeah.
And so I need to have better systems in place right now. Because my wife and I have been flirting with the idea of starting a home church. It's just something that we see is really valuable.
Wow.
But I can't expect to lead people if I'm not leading myself through the word, if I'm not finding my own time for worship, and even just reflection, or I'm not resting in God and quieting my ambitions and just teaching my children that, hey, you need to rest by doing a Sabbath, right? I want to make sure that people understand how important it is to have a mentor, someone who is a little bit further along than you, that you're going to have to pass to become who you want to be.
Yeah.
To watch, because there are characteristics in singleness that you just don't understand how you have to think about, when you become a parent. Like, life is so selfless. It almost feels like, if you're not ready for it, it can feel like prison. You know what I'm saying? You can feel like you're trapped here. And so I really want to help people understand that the need for guidance and having mentorship. And this is another thing about Pat Lynch. He's the one that let me into his home where I could just see it. Oh, yeah. I can do this. Mm-hmm. It's not just, do I want to be a dad? It's, right. Do I even believe it's possible?
Yeah.
Right. And not that the whole goal is to become a parent, but the whole goal is to be a safe haven for other people and to stand in the middle of culture and being able to grieve with these people and celebrate with these people and understand, like, yo, like, I am here for the benefit of you and also to tell you how good Jesus is. Like, but I can't do that if I'm always in misery. Right? If I'm always like, I make the gospel look bad. If my marriage is jacked up, right? If my children hide when I come home, right? And that has happened before. You know what I mean? There have been times where my children have been like, man, Dad, you're filming us too much. We don't want to be on camera no more. Mm-hmm. Like that. Yeah, that happened. Right. Yeah. I lost relationship equity. And so when I came into the room, they're looking at my hand before they accept me because they want to know if I have a camera.
Totally.
Mm-hmm. Right. And so when you think about that, it's kind of like, well, what is it really saying about fatherhood if my children don't even trust me being at the house?
Wow.
Mm-hmm. I have to read. Right. So let's think about everything we've been given to steward, how we're managing that, and then how you show up for other people. It is a blessing to be involved in a family outside of your own. You got to see it differently. Right. I believe that family is the most important unit on earth. OK, I believe that our children and our children, our spouses are our greatest asset. And the biggest stage you'll ever stand on is in your living room. OK, most of us have an experience with one house, just the house we grew up with. And so for some of us, it's unacceptable. We don't want to regurgitate that. So we don't have any other form of research except for what we see on TV or we listen to through sermons or whatever. We have to investigate. How can I come over and be a blessing to you? Can I watch the kids? Can I come over for game night? Can I bring you guys dinner? You have to be interested in that. You're about to be a parent. You're about to be a spouse. You got to see how it looks. Right. And so I think the next movement, 100%, will be pastors who hold cameras in their hand to show how they deal with the unhoused, to show how they deal with conflict, to show how they, you know what I'm saying? Because like we can sit up here and say it from a pulpit on stage all the time, but I need to see how you live it. You know, I talk about Pat all the time because he's one of the greatest men I've ever met. And he's never going to put himself out there. He's never going to do it. But he got into he was a triathlete. And he was like, on the top, whatever percentage of whatever that whole thing is. I don't know. Like in his age group, he was dope, I guess.
Dang.
So he does this race. And this is a guy, I was like, okay, I believe I can be a father because of this guy. He does this race. He's going down the hills like 50 miles per hour. A car gets on the track and it's an accident. He gets hit by a car on the triathlon, like Ironman race.
Oh my goodness.
He's dead on the spot.
Oh.
Like they have to resuscitate him or whatever. They get him to the hospital. He's like, lost a lot of blood, broken this and that. I heard about the accident, immediately flew because I had to see it. I gotta see you. I gotta see you because I need to know what counts.
Yeah.
I need you to tell me what counts to you. And besides his family, I think I was one of the only people that came up there to see him. But it was important for me to see how he moved after that. And he says he's on his hospital bed and he's like, man, I invested so much time into this race in my body, and I feel so bad because I feel like I missed out on so much with my family. And I was like, all right, I got it. That's all I needed to hear. I needed to see how he moved after that. Once he got better and he got well, what did he do? Did he hop back into racing? No, he said, hey kids, you never have to leave. You can stay here as long as you want. Your grandkids can be here. I just want to be close to my family for the rest of my life.
Wow.
And I don't want to have to get on my deathbed to see that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So the curiosity and the investigation was one, I want to see if my buddy's okay. I love this man. I love his family. Right. He's one of my closest friends. But also, I'm curious on how you're going to move. I don't want to have to be activated by something that happens in the world or something that God allows me to go through.
Yeah, right.
I can be activated through other members of the body, right? And so, like, if you bump your elbow over here, you kind of like, man, I need to chill out and slow down. I don't want to hurt my other elbow, right? I want to know how Pat moves from this point on. And so having proof is so important.
Yeah.
Like, proof is power.
What would you say to someone who maybe looks at their own journey with, being a parent, and says, I've already blown it. I've already made the mistakes.
Yeah. I think, man, it's so good. You know how forgiving children are? They want so bad to be in connection. And you are there. And it depends on different stages, because I think you're asking different questions, Matt, right? Because it's different when someone is out of the home and they're an adult and you're kind of like, dang, I blew it their whole life. Or you're talking about you yelled. Give me an example of what you mean. You've already blown it.
I mean, so in like the example that you gave, like, he had this pull toward racing, and there's this thing that they go to that maybe took precedence over the family, or they felt like it. And so
adult kids or young kids?
I would say maybe mid-age kids, like where teenagers, where they're past that point where they're wanting the hug necessarily, but they're still in the home, and you're realizing like, I haven't given them primacy, or that attention that I maybe should have. Well,
I think that is I haven't ventured into the teen years yet. My oldest is 12, so we're right there.
Yeah.
I can say that I don't believe children ever stop needing hugs. I need to be squeezed right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just need a squeeze. I would say that what we have to recognize, right, is like, all right, having children is the opportunity of a lifetime. It is the opportunity of a lifetime. It's the most impactful role you will ever play. It will ripple throughout time. You will die. The children will last. You'll do something great in this life, and the history books won't even remember it more than like, hey, my father, this was his hat, or this, you know what I'm saying? It will ripple throughout time. And so I think if we look at it as an opportunity, you also have an opportunity to get it right. And I was sitting there because me and my mom have a very tumultuous relationship, and somebody was asking me, what can your mother do? She did the best she could. What can she do now? It's over. Just get over it. Right. They were telling me that. Right. And I was like, what would I do if I was my mother and I had grandchildren that I wanted to see, and my child didn't trust me, and I may have lost a lot of relationship equity? The first thing I would do was I would recognize that I've messed up, and I would admit and say, hey, I blew it. You trusted me to do this. You gave me an opportunity to do this, and I did not accept the invitation. I screwed up big time, and I don't know if you should forgive me or even give me the time to speak. Mm-hmm. But now that I have your attention, I want to let you know that I am willing to get this right. I will spend the rest of my life working on this relationship because it's that important to me. And I don't care what it costs. I don't care how it makes me look. I will pursue you. I imagine that when you see a shepherd chasing after a sheep, it ain't very pretty. It don't look good. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you imagine it in the clothes they wore back in the day. It's a dude in a dress with a stick chasing the, you know what I'm saying? Like, they're not just coming to you because you call. It's a pursuit. Right. And I think that we have to recognize what's at stake.
Yeah.
Right. Thanksgiving is at stake. Your future, the holidays are at stake because they won't live in your home. They're going to go out, make money, make friends, get in relationships, and you're going to be able to see them like most Christians do church. Mother's Day, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Easter.
Yeah.
Right. That's where you're going to see your big kids. And how do you want those moments to be? Do you want them to be something that's tolerated and, like barely embraced? Or do you want this to be, oh my gosh, I can't wait till game night. After this, are we going to do this? Oh, did mom make the stuffing that she used to make? Or did dad cook the chicken? Or, you know what I'm saying? Like, what's happening? Like, is auntie such and such coming over? Are we going to play this game? Like, oh man, I'm so excited to be here. And then we all cuddle together and watch movies. And for a moment, we get an opportunity in our older age to feel like it does now. Right. And so there's some things that you can do practically that will give you an opportunity, because we don't accept those invitations, but then we don't send any invites. Hey, I'm going to the store. You want to run with me? Hey, I know it's past your bedtime. Come down here. Let's play the video game for like 2 hours. Oh my gosh. Right. My kids have interests that they aren't ready for. Their curiosity is peaking. They love hip hop. They want to listen to Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar does not have a lyric that my children should hear. But I'm a hip hop aficionado. I know everything about it. So if they want to know about it, I'm not going to say, nah, absolutely not. You can't listen to it. You're not ready for it yet. I'm telling them about sex. I'm telling them about their bodies. I'm telling them about all this other stuff that they aren't ready to engage in yet. But I'm telling them, hey, here's what we're going to do. I'm going to break down the lyrics for you, and we're going to listen to them together. I'm going to explain why he said this, the history of why he said it, where it comes from, and what he was trying to get across, and then how it played out in the future. So here we're going to listen to this song, Sing About Me. And that's how we do it. I don't try to get them to avoid all the conflict and all the things. Like, if they're interested in something, that's an invitation. Now, I'm not saying you got to give it to them right away, but it is an opportunity. And so what are you going to do? No, you can't watch that. You can't listen to that. No, you're not ready for that. You're probably not. But look, you're probably going to do it anyway. And you're probably going to sneak to do it. And I don't want you to have to do that. So do you think you're ready for this? Yeah, I think I'm ready. Okay. Now, with this responsibility, understand that I'm trusting you. I'm trusting you to like be mature in this situation. And I'm also trusting you not to spread this around to other children because their parents might not think they're ready. So this is between you and I. This is something we have together.
Yeah.
Right? We have a bonding opportunity. Now, this kid is writing raps. And he's like, Dad, it seems like most of the people that write raps have had tough lives and I haven't been through anything. I was like, yeah, you haven't. And I was like, you know what you can do? You can rap about cooking. You love to cook. You rap about how much you hate cleaning your room. That's dramatic as I don't know what. You know what I'm saying? You could rap about how you need a hug, right? So like, and it's an opportunity because we homeschool. So there is more to get out of there if you poke around, you know? And I think that is the thing is like, we don't realize that we accept invitations and then they accept the invitations for us. Hey, you want to go fishing? Hey, you want to help me clean outside? Hey, you want to help me clean the garage? We have fun doing the most regular stuff around this house. There's some invitations I haven't accepted. I'm in book mode. But I gotta find time.
Yeah, that's good.
You know.
So to really leave people with an encouragement from your book, it releases right at the time. What's the date? Is this episode
November 4th?
November 4th. This is coming out right around
for pre-order now. Yeah.
But so snag it now. This episode will release right as it's in the world. So go get it. But father yourself first. What is one major takeaway that you want people to walk away with?
Let me tell you something, Lori. I've been dropping bars in this book. It's so many different things because I wanted to write this book a long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I was like, as a stay-at-home dad, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm learning. But I'm like, no one's going to trust me. I had little baby kids. Yeah. So I've been keeping track this whole time, 10 years into making this book.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to tell you that every chapter is 12 chapters and it's broken down into 6 parts. But every chapter has a gem. But one of the things I've been reminding myself and saying to myself as a direct quote from the book is in the scriptures, it says that we are God's workmanship, right? We're his masterpiece. And I was thinking about that, and I was like, when you have a child, you're literally collaborating with God on a masterpiece. Like, think about that. Like, you are making a sculpture with the creator of the universe, right? So there's an amazing thing there. But what happens is there's two things that happen from that point. God is creating a masterpiece. You're collaborating with him. And then at some point, the masterpiece starts working on itself and chipping away pieces that they don't need, that you thought were going to be valuable for them. And then that building of that sculpture is also building you. So you're not only collaborating with God on a masterpiece called your children, you're collaborating with God on a masterpiece called you.
Yeah.
And like, it's just so perfect to think of our lives as works of art that God is displaying for his glory.
So good.
Parenthood, like I'm trying to tell you, it's the opportunity of a lifetime. Make sure you guys, your audience, nice meeting you, but I need you guys to get this book. It's really important.
Thank you so much. So we will link to it in the show notes. It is so good. Father Yourself First. Glen, thank you so much for joining us today and really encouraging our audience with just the gems that you've been able to furnace with the Lord, to forge in the furnace of suffering often, but with the Lord. Thanks for sharing those gems with us today.
Thank you guys so much for having me, and I appreciate you guys. I'm excited for you and your future, and I pray that your podcast is blessed and it reaches a bunch of people that's really going to lead them to the Lord for sure.
Amen.
Thank you.
All right, we said an official goodbye to Glen. And we will link to his book in the bio. I looked at the date after we said goodbye to him. This is dropping on November 7. He said it's coming out on the 4th. So it's been out for a few days. You can go and get it everywhere. And you can follow him on Instagram if you want to talk to, and on YouTube if you want to see some of the videos that he's talking about with his sweet kids. You can also find his site, Belief in Fatherhood. beliefinfatherhood.com. Matt, what's standing out to you from what we just chatted about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the piece that really stood out to me was his juggling analogy, right? That it's like, it's not I need this, therefore I'm pushing my kid away or anything. It's much more because parenting is pretty cyclical, right? And there are times when there's direct engagement, there's times when there's not. But at no point are you trying to drop your kids or to say, like, I'm not available. It's I don't know, I'm just pondering that because I'm not always the best at knowing when and how to be available, but maybe not necessarily in the moment immediately.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting too. The word balance always kind of like grates me a little bit wrongly. I like the idea of juggling instead of like always trying to find this centered space, because it doesn't exist. You gotta let things weigh you down sometimes. What stood out to me was one of his last ideas around legacy. And so as parents of kids, there is this legacy, but as single people, there is this legacy that you leave with whom you disciple. I was just thinking about a birthday card I got from Cassie, who I've talked about on this podcast. She's someone who I have walked with for the last decade. And she just said in this card, she just talked about the impact I've had on her, not her biological mother. I am not her biological mother, but I've been able to have a discipleship impact, and then watching her have a discipleship impact on our biological kids and many others. And then I think about who's gone ahead of me, and it's my parents, and it's also Carolyn, who I've talked about on here. There is this beautiful, God is a multiplicative God. He wants babies to produce babies. He wants more of his image everywhere. And so he doesn't just want humans, although he does want humans. He wants people conformed into his image, into the image of Christ. So I just think that's cool. It's when we die, there's still legacy. Yes, God willing, with our kids who hopefully will know Jesus, but those we disciple, I really like that. All right, guys, what stood out to you today? What are you thinking about as far as discipleship, about fathering, knowing the Father as your father and fathering yourself first and letting the Lord parent you as you disciple and lead others? What do you guys think about that? You can hit me up at podcast@lorikrieg.com. I love hearing from you. Or you can DM me on Instagram. That's where I'm the most active on the socials. All right. Well, if you like the podcast, please take a moment to rate and review it. That helps people find it. This is where I do the thank you paragraph because I am so grateful. Thanks so much to WCSG for hosting us today. The Zach of all trades for being here. I know Steve also helps with audio. Love you, Steve. He might not be in front of the camera right now, but he is behind the camera and a huge help. You too, Bethany Sanderson, for doing a lot of the audio and video. Thank you again to Glen Henry for joining us today and for all of us here at the Hold My Heart podcast. We'll see you next time.